Bloemfontein had been occupied by the British on the 13th of March 1900, where, for some weeks, they rested tired men and horses. The Boers fell back to the land between Bruntfort and the Modderspruit, and skirmishing around Carrie Siding on the 28th of April ultimately led to a larger struggle at Carrie Kloof, which is named as Houtneck in the SAFF casualty list. On the 17th of May 1900, bugler Harry Bell of the 2nd Victorian Mounted Rifles wrote an account from Kroonstad of this battle to his father, A.D. Bell, Inspector of Public Works in Melbourne. He was particularly proud of his commanding officer, Colonel Tom Price, an Australian. Quote, "I've been lucky enough to escape being hit so far, although I've had some very narrow shaves. The hottest fire we were under was on April the 28th when we were fighting on Gun Hill, near Carrie Siding. It was a general advance. The Cornwall Mounted Infantry under Colonel Price were on the extreme left, and our instructions were to take a line of koppies about 3 miles in front of our lines. The guns got engaged about 2 miles to our left at 6:30 a.m, and they drove the Boers back, while firing all along our line to the right. As the enemy were making for a koppie, Colonel Price, who was watching everything very quietly, said, 'Now's our chance, boys, follow me.' And he went full gallop for about a mile and dismounted in a mealie field, from where we pulled in a very heavy fire at a nice range. There is no doubt we got a few of them, but we had no guns with us and no support to back us up. There were only about 500 of us altogether, and the Boers, numbering about 3,000, were coming round on the left to cut us off. All of a sudden they put their pom-poms among our horses, and we had to hold our position until our guns came up, over a distance of 3 miles. The Boers fired 30 rounds from their guns before the colonel gave the order to "Stand to your horses." We stood to what was left of the poor brutes. The shells and bullets were tearing the ground up all around us, while the colonel was riding among the men, telling them to lie down when the shells were bursting and to run when they got a chance. He got one of the Cornwall men on behind him and galloped out of fire, while I followed with another. He then rode back and hurried the men on. I followed him all through. I have been his bugler ever since I left Melbourne, and have been everywhere he has been. At last we got our men together and slowly retreated, while the Boers were coming over the hill in hundreds and firing as they came. Colonel Price was in the rear of the men while they were retreating, and he kept turning and firing at the Boers from his horse. We kept on in this way until we got them under the fire of our guns. They then came to a sudden stop while our guns fired shrapnel into them, doing good work. We lost 31 horses killed and had 3 men wounded. On the 30th of April, I went with Colonel Price around the outposts and then over to General Tucker's, getting back about 7 p.m. that night. On the 2nd of May, we had another big fight, taking Bruntfort and driving the Boer completely back. I got a very bad fall from my horse that day while taking a dispatch from Colonel Henry to Major Bruce to hold a hill at all cost. I just got to the bottom of the hill when my horse put his foot in a hole and fell very heavily as I was at a gallop. I broke my saddle, split my water bag and hurt my knee. The horse broke his shoulder and lay across my legs until a Tommy came to my assistance. I sent the message on by another galloper and got back to camp. Private Peter Dallimore and I were cutting a wire fence. He was at one post and I at the other, about 20 yards apart, when a shell landed between us and threw the dirt up all around. It was a lucky thing it did not burst, or we should have both been killed. It was here that Stan Gazzard got wounded. He's a jolly fine fellow. We were fighting almost every day before we left Kroonstad. So here we are at 9:20 on a Saturday morning in Stawell. The town has not awoken yet, very much in slumber mode. I mean, you'd think the shops would be opening, but slight breeze, a little bit chilly actually. My prediction of the... Well, there goes my hat. It does this all the time. My prediction of the pink singlet making another appearance is not going to happen. So Stawell, known for its foot race, called the Stawell Gift. Now I think it's on Easter. There's a football ground just down there where they run it. One time Brian and I were here. We walked around the football oval. There is the Stawell Gift Hall of Honour. Here was a coffee palace. Changed to the Castlemaine Hotel. And knocked down by the look of it in 1956. So that corner was turned into a petrol station, which is the corner we're on, and they decided to make this a little park area. So what we're looking for is Central Park, and I believe we've got a proper monument this time. And then I can start making my way back home. I've done probably about 600 kilometres now, and it's going to be another, I don't know, a couple of hundred to get home, I'd say. Should be home by lunchtime. I can definitely see the World War One monument. They may have squeezed in the Boers. Beautiful old church over there. No one around. Hope I don't have to look up on my phone what the monument looks like. The war memorials. Oh, that's what it looked like in its day. This is definitely World War One. I wonder where Central Park is then. Ah, okay. Maybe this is what they mean. Vietnam, World War II. That's pretty special, isn't it? Surely we're all going to be here together. Beautiful gold lettering. He has his 303 resting on his foot. Let's hope there's nothing goes wrong with that. It would mean something. I'm not a military expert by any stretch. Maybe it just means you're resting when you have your rifle upside down on your foot. I wonder if next to the town hall is Central Park. Stawell is waking up. I see a coffee shop over there. I hear voices. Well, as I said in many of my videos, the Boer War monuments tend to be right next to the prominent places. This is the town hall. Maybe this little park next to it is Central Park, because that's where the monument is listed as being in Central Park. Well, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. Gee, that's impressive. I wonder if the mayor has ever stood on that little parapet there and made an announcement to the citizens of Stawell. Man. This is Wesley car park. Oh, look at the old State Savings Bank. I think at school I had an account. They gave us a little State Savings Bank account at school. It's probably, been gathering interest in 60 years. It's been confiscated by the government. Right, so some research is needed. I'm going to have to look on my phone what the monument looks like, so I've got an idea. Yeah, everything tells me that it should be here in the centre then. If they've got their World War One here and World War Two, it would make sense to put them all together. But I'm not seeing any place to do it. And if that's all they've done is put a plaque here, I'm a bit disappointed. I really like those, like we saw in Casterton, It's beautiful. See, Korea is mentioned. Where's the Boers? Oh, guys, where's the Boers? Oh. Maybe it's on that other block where the coffee shop is. Maybe that's Central Park. Big opening of this fountain was switched on in 1969. You can see here, packed with people come to watch the fountain being switched on. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if you can see, but in the distance is the outline of the Grampians, famous mountain range. Around here you can go and stay on Hall's Gap, which is right up in the mountain range. Amazing, stunning views and bush walks, and you can see indigenous art. Hall's Gap's a very touristy place now, of course. Okay, so off chance, walking through this bit of park, they might have something, but we're going to have to do research in my car. That wind is a little bit chilly. Get back to the car and have a look what we're looking for in Stawell. Then I can tick Stawell off. Wow. Now, of course, I've only been looking at Victoria. Saw that name yesterday. I don't know how to pronounce it. Mega? Is it Mega? $11. Well, I don't know how long the Stawell gift is, but I'm thinking that's motoring. Oh, I've seen something, folks. Okay, I'm going to leave the car there, ponder a bit about how far you run in 11 seconds to get your name remembered in the Stawell gift, but I have seen something that looks like old memorial material. There is another little park area down here. I've made my thermos of tea. I'm drinking the Yorkshire tea these days. Oh look, here's another one. This is the women again. Catherine Brennan. From Watsonia. She's done it in 13 seconds. That's 2 seconds slower than the other lady. Now look on that corner over there. You won't be able to see it yet, but it's got the proper sort of lantern on top. There's the RSL over there. They got cannons. Alright. If this is a Boer War monument, that's a big if. It's unusual. They don't normally have the columns like that. It's normally bronze, sorry, it's normally cast iron. But Stawell suddenly leapt into life. They leave it for the last moment. Right next to the tyre power. Oh, yeah. This is Barnes Street, and we really need Main Street. But no, I'm not going to jinx myself yet. But if this is it, it would make my life a little bit easier than looking up on the phone. The monument website is not friendly, guys. Oh, no. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. 19. Okay. Australian Commonwealth, so it's the right era. Okay. It is the right era, but I don't think it's remembering what we want it to. So, the inauguration of the Commonwealth. There's all our states up there. And this was a fountain. But this is not the Federation Memorial. It was proposed by the Australian Natives Association in late 1900 and cost about £100. So okay, so these columns were imported from Scotland, and it was unveiled in 1903. Right. Well, as I said, as I approached it, didn't look like we're used to. So close, but no Cupidol. And this is not Main Street anymore. Main Street is up there. Okay. So research is required. So I'll turn off the video, and once I'm standing in front of it, I'll let you know. Right. So this is an unusual one, but it's impressive. It's not a monument, as we're used to. But it is big and it is impressive, and I've walked through these gates once before and never read them or took notice of what they were about, but I believe these gates are the memorial gates to Central Park, and they're erected in 1903. Now that is the time frame, isn't it? They look like they're freshly painted. And oh, this is fantastic. Look at this. Erected to commemorate the patriotism of those from this town and district who served in the Boer War. So Brian and I walked through these gates and took no notice at all. Because in here is the Stawell football ground, but it's also where they run the Stawell gift that I was talking about before. Right, there is a little plaque here and a Roman bust. I wonder if that's anything to do with the Boers. Central Park. It's been held here every year since 1878, the Stawell gift. And that's Apollo over there. We used to call it a pussy willow. I used to get some of that and take it home for Sam. He'd love it. Might do that. Okay, this is Jack Donaldson, the world's professional sprint champion. Nice effort, Jack, but that's not why I'm here. Well, you'd have to say, I'll get some pussy willow for Sam if I can break a bit off. Yeah, he'll like that. You'd have to say that this is the biggest, most impressive monument that we've been to, with those urns at the top, the wrought iron gate. It's gorgeous handiwork, whoever crafted these gates. And I said it's well maintained, it's beautifully recently painted. So, erected in 1903. So the year after the boys came home. Right. Okay, well, I'll take some photos of this of Brian as well and send it to him. Because, as I said, we walked through here and we never noticed it. Central Park. Alright. Stop recording.